Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in today's video lesson, we are going to be looking at our vocabulary words from our next unit text, which is an informational article called World Wonders Worn Down. And so today we're going to preview our vocabulary words, and we're going to write some sentences using each of our vocabulary words. Alright, so the first thing I'd like you to do is to take your vocabulary sheet and, without looking at the definitions, just look at each of our vocabulary words and rate your knowledge of the word before we look at the definition and the example sentences. Our first word is toll. Second word is fate. Third word is translucent. Our fourth word is corrosion. Our fifth word is preserved. The sixth word is colossal. The seventh word is scoured. And the eighth word is durable. Alright, so let's start with the word toll. Toll is a noun, and we know that nouns are people, places, and things. And so when you talk about the toll of something, you're talking about the extent of damage or harm to something. So actually, the word toll is usually used as a phrase, not just one single sentence. So usually you say that something took a toll on something else. Like in the example sentence, the storm took a terrible toll on young trees. So not only did I use the phrase took a toll, but I actually elaborated on it a little bit by adding this adjective describing the toll as terrible. Although usually a toll, it's kind of implied. If something's taking a toll, it usually is going to be something terrible. So here I'm being maybe a little bit verbose. I probably could have taken the adjective out, although I added it because I really like the fact that it adds alliteration to my sentence. You could also say that the toll on her health from working in a stressful job is not worth the higher salary. And so this is an example of a sentence where you're using the word toll, but you're not using it as the phrase took a toll. And so even though taking a toll is the most common way to use this word, it's not the only way to use this word. There are a lot of things that can take a toll on a person, and so usually you're going to think about things like stress. There could be a physical toll that something takes on someone. Construction workers have a toll that's taken on their body through the hard work that they have to do. And it could be a mental toll, so stress, fighting, conflict can take a toll on somebody. Our next word is fate. Fate is the final outcome of something, and basically this is very similar to one of our previous vocabulary words, the word destiny. A lot of people really kind of consider destiny and fate to basically be interchangeable with each other. And for the day-to-day use of these words, there really isn't much of a difference. She believes her fate is to be an important leader. So you think your fate is what you are meant to be, what's meant to happen to you, your final outcome. The eggs wondered if it was their fate, their final outcome, to be turned into a breakfast dish. Alright, our next word is translucent. Something that's translucent is clear enough to allow light to pass through. Basically, translucent is the antonym for one of our previous vocabulary words, opaque. Opaque is something that's difficult to see through, and translucent, it's pretty easy to see through. It's very clear. The water in the lake is translucent enough to see fish swimming along the bottom. You can see the fish very clearly, which means that the water is translucent. The adjective translucent is being used to describe the water in this sentence. I have a small translucent wall in my apartment which separates my bed from my living room. So in this case, the adjective translucent is being used to describe the wall. And as you can see through that wall. This is not an opaque wall. You can see the outline and some of the features of the woman standing behind it. Alright, next we have the word corrosion. Corrosion is the weakening or the destruction of metal due to water or chemicals. So this is a very specific technical term that really only applies to specific situations. You only talk about corrosion when it has to do with metal objects. and it is the deterioration, the destruction of that metal, usually by water or chemicals. You have other forms of this word within the word family. You could talk about the verb corrode, so the metal was corroded or the water was corroding the metal. And then you can also describe something as being corrosive, the corrosive pipe, the corrosive metal. Water has corroded the pipe and caused it to burst. All right, our next word is preserved. When you are preserving something, it means you're saving it and you are taking good care of something. In order to preserve the fruit properly and prevent rotting, you have to make sure the jars are tightly closed. If you do not close the jars, then the opposite of preserve is going to happen. The fruit that's inside is going to end up rotting. The protesters worked hard to try to convince the government to preserve the ancient monument. Remember, preserving something is a synonym for save. And so when you are trying to preserve it, you are trying to save it, you're trying to keep it as new, you're trying to make sure that it doesn't get destroyed. All right, our next word is colossal. Colossal is an adjective that means very big or huge. So it's a really easy word to use. Basically, any sentence where you want to describe something as big or huge, you can now replace it with the more sophisticated adjective of colossal. The dinosaur fossil was so colossal, it took 3 scientists to move it to the storage room. Or you can say, I find it hard to imagine the colossal size and strength of the dinosaurs. All right, our next word is scoured. So scoured is a multiple meaning word. When you are scouring something, you could mean that you're searching for something very thoroughly or carefully. So it's not a quick search, it's a really detailed search where you're paying a lot of attention and spending a lot of time and looking very carefully. And you can also use scour when you're trying to clean something by rubbing it really hard with a rough object. So a lot of times when your parents, or maybe yourself, are doing the dishes and you're trying to clean pots and pans that have a lot of grease on it or food that got stuck to it, you're going to use one of the heavy-duty sponges and you're really going to scour it. It took 20 minutes of me scouring the pans to get them clean. Or you might say, when you're searching, the FBI used all their resources scouring the city for the dangerous criminal. Again, in this context, with this meaning of scouring, you are looking for the criminal. All right, and now we have our word durable. Durable is an adjective that you use to describe anything that's really strong and capable of lasting a long time. My backpack is durable and still looks new after 2 years. And if you look at the image I found, clearly this is a very durable backpack. It's made of some kind of material that is not going to get damaged very easily. People say the new iPhone isn't very durable because it tends to bend when put into someone's pocket. So okay, if your phone is going to bend when you put it in your pocket, clearly it is not durable. It's not meant to last. Alright, so now before we work on our sentences, I just wanted to talk a little bit about root words, which we have looked at before in class. And we know that there are many root words that come from old languages like Latin or Greek. And so durable is one of those words. Durable comes from the Latin word durare. And in Latin, that word means to last or harden, which is why the word durable comes from that root, because like we just explored, if something is durable, it is lasting for a long time. It's not going to wear down easily. We also have some other words in the English language that also share that same root word as durable. For example, the word duration. Duration is a noun which means the amount of time something is lasting. Again, you can see the connection between the original Latin root word. We also have the word endure. When you are enduring something, you are putting up with it for a long time. Or something is able to endure, it means it's able to last a long time. It has longevity if it's able to endure. And then finally, we have the word during. Usually when you talk about the word during, you're talking about a time frame. Like I was doing my homework during ELA class, which we never want to do. That would be a very bad idea. Alright, so finally it is time to practice and apply our new vocabulary words to our own sentences. On the screen you have some sentence frames that you can use to help you with the writing of your sentences. However, you do not have to use them. They're just there for some extra support. And remember, there are always bonus points for anybody that can use additional previous vocabulary words within their sentence. Make sure you write your sentences on your vocabulary sheet, and make sure you bring your vocabulary sheet to class tomorrow so that we can trade with our elbow partner and evaluate each other's use of context clues.